comfortable. You don't have to close your eyes. Hi, Anais. Welcome. I'm glad you found us. We're just getting started on the project, so good timing. So yeah, putting your hand on your heart. Your heart is sort of like the fulcrum of your body. It is in the center of your like upper aspirational, connected, elemental parts of yourself, and then the lower grounded, rooted, internal aspects of yourself. So it kind of is the place all of that spins around. It also, our hearts, they send out this electromagnetic field around our body. They're the largest muscle in our body, so they generate the most energy. And when you touch your heart, your body sends neurotransmitter, endorphin, feel good, electricity to your heart, and then expands that back out through your body. So when you physically touch your heart, electrochemistry is changing in your body, and then that expands out in this field of energy around you. So just feeling that release of feel good, endorphins, serotonin, neurotransmitters flooding through you as you touch your heart. Invite your heart to share its message with you in this creative play today. And then feel that energy going out. It can go out so far beyond us to connect with all of the people in the hive, all of the people in the play portal, forming a covenant that we are all going to create together in beauty, free of criticism, just ready to play. What wants to happen now? Breathing that through your whole system. And then when you're ready and you feel that warm, juicy energy, it was really fast for me because we've been dipping into this space all weekend. Blink your eyes open and turn to your sentence stems. And again, you'll want to write this on a piece of paper that you don't mind cutting up or ripping up. So you may not want to write it into your most precious journal. Although that could be fun too, to rip pages out of your fantastic journal. Because here's what I like to do with these sentence stems. Read the sentence, first thought, best thought. Don't edit yourself. If the first thing that your heart says is my heart is a pineapple, write that down. It doesn't have to be the most profound thing you've ever written. You could write one word, or you could write a sentence. I'm going to give us about 5 minutes to write these, and I'm going to read them out loud for those of you who may not have had a chance to print it out. So the first sentence stem is, my heart is. My heart is. We are going to cut this up, so you want to think about leaving enough space to cut out each word or cut out a phrase, which I didn't do a great job here of that. But my heart today is ready to play and a happy place. The next sentence stem is, my heart dreams of. My heart dreams of. And if at any time you lose track of your heart, just bring your hand back there and it will automatically start pumping those feel-good energies through you, bring you back into your heart space. Another trick you can do if it feels like you're getting stuck in an old pattern or you're noticing a negative thought is just change your body. So try standing and writing, try sitting and writing, try writing with your left hand instead of your right hand, or your right hand instead of your left hand, whichever is better for you. And like just by making those little changes in your body, it allows your brain to see something new or see something different. And then your heart can communicate more effectively. The next one is my heart remembers. My heart remembers. And if you don't like one of the sentence stems, you can also just skip it. Or if one sentence stem, you're just like, oh yeah, this, I just want to keep writing about this. You can do that. There's no right or wrong way to approach this exercise. It's just a way to kind of get the juices flowing. And language is a great way to transition into art making because it can be a little more accessible. My heart is ready to is the next one. My heart is ready to. And then my heart wants me to know. How are we doing?
Can you just repeat the, I guess it would be the fourth and the fifth?
Yeah. My heart is ready to, and my heart wants me to know. And then the last one is my heart urges me to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so wrap those up. Again, they are my heart is, my heart dreams of, my heart remembers, my heart is ready to, my heart wants me to know, and my heart urges me to. Said heart enough times, it started sounding funny.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't feel like working with attachment today, take a picture of this writing. And if you're not worried about what you created so far, don't do that step, and we're going to cut out all the words. So what we're doing is quickly generating a word pool of our own heart language. So you're just going to, without much ceremony, take every word and cut it so that it's on, oh my gosh, it's mirrored for me for some reason. It's on its own little piece of paper. You don't have to cut out every single word. But yeah, that's the next step. And word pools are this beautiful practice that came from the book Poem Crazy, which the name of the author is escaping me, but I learned it from one of my most cherished mentors, Elena Shaw of Turning the Wheel, and they use word pools all the time in Turning the Wheel to let go of outcome and just get spontaneous information from the universe. It's almost like drawing a little oracle card, but it's just one word. You can also generate word pools by cutting words out of magazines or finding word lists online. I also have a bunch of word pools available for my patrons on Patreon, and if you sign up for the full course, there are word pools there as well. But I also like this technique where you can just generate your own words by doing a little writing exercise and then cutting everything up. And then it's really, really potent because these are messages that came from your own heart space. And the reason we cut these up is, one, it's fun to shuffle and recreate something you already know. But two, it helps us kind of break state, find change, get out of our thinking head and into a more playful heart thinking space. How's everyone doing on the writing, on the cutting? Good, yay.
Doing so good. This is a beautiful process.
Thanks.
This is so magical.
It's just for us. Our little yummy fruit. Okay. I'm almost complete with my cutting of the words. You can also come back to these sentence stems, and like there was a while where I was answering these sentence stems every morning or so. As it's like how as part of my morning practice to start my day in a heart-centered space. And it was very digestible to just like write one word for each every morning. Okay, one last sentence to cut. Are any of you also artists? I know Anais sings, which is a form of art, and writes songs, and I saw Andrea Flobani's Fort, which was like a art installation, but I'm curious where people are accessing this creativity from.
So
Well, go ahead, Betty.
You sure? Go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
Okay. So I have a background in design, allied arts, graphic design, and landscape architecture, which is much more structured than what we're doing right now, I'll tell you that.
I'm not a huge fan of structure.
Me neither. Hence the
spontaneous.
fractals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, how are you almost done cutting these words? But then I realized because I'm so structured, I'm trying to cut them as like perfectly as possible, and I'm like, well, that's why it's taking me so long.
Yeah. Can I make a recommendation for that?
Yes, please.
For our time, cut them out rough right now, and then you don't have to finish your product, your craft today, and you can just get everything cut out and make the poem, and then when you go to glue it into your zine, then you can like trim everything and make it beautiful. And then if there's words you don't use, you didn't take the time to trim it because then you didn't need to use it. And that is why I just cut everything out so rough and tumble, because I'll probably go back and like make them all square and nice when I glue them down.
Gotcha.
That's my tip for that. All right. I'm going to keep us rolling so that we have enough time to at least get through all the steps. I invite you to release any attachment to finishing this project today. And if you do finish it, that is also welcome and wonderful. I like to think when doing projects of reaching a resolution and not of finishing the project. The idea being I get it to a place where I'm like content and happy and it doesn't feel like frayed on the edges. But I frequently come back to a piece of art or a piece of craft many, many times and bring it into a new evolution, bring it to a new level of resolution. And nothing's ever really finished. So that is my philosophy around art making in that aspect. So the next step, once you have a few or all of your words cut out, you can do this by closing your eyes if you want to be even faster. But just pick words that jump out at you, and you're going to want to create 6 phrases or 6 poetic stanzas. And one is going to go on each page. The zine that we're doing is a 1-page zine, and it folds up into an 8-page booklet. So you'll have a cover and a back cover, and then 6 pages inside. And because sometimes things get like ripped off the outside, I like to enclose my poem just inside the 6 pages. So that's why I shoot for like 6 phrases. If you end up with 7 or 8, one could become the title, one could go on the back cover, or you could put 2 phrases on 1 page. But yeah, just start weaving them together. See what wants to appear in your heart message. And you can move stuff around many, many times. Just putting different combinations that surprise you, combinations that interest you. Like I just got the phrase happy universe. I like that phrase. Another phrase that just appeared to me was play with creation. They might start appearing in an order. Or could just be, maybe you just want 8 single words and you don't need all the phrases. It just condenses down into something really simple and digestible. That is also welcome. If you haven't picked up on it yet, there aren't a lot of rules. Yeah, it's like, are you having fun? Catch some of that happiness. Just like notice, like, ooh, this feels good, or this doesn't feel good. And if it doesn't feel good, put your hand on your heart, adjust your body, adjust your energy, come back in. And if it feels good, catch it. Notice it.
Feels good.
Soak it up. Thank the universe for it.
Oh, there it is.
What was that?
No, I didn't realize I wasn't muted, but I saw the go that I wrote, and it looked so weird. I'm like, what is that? I had it sideways, and it looked like this weird, like, squiggly thing. I don't know.
Yeah, my handwriting is poetic and occasionally difficult to understand what I've written. I'll take a lot of liberties with what letters actually make it into the word sometimes.
This is fun.
Yay! I'm going to give us 2 more minutes to craft our poems, and you can keep crafting your poem for the whole rest of the class if you want. That is totally fine. But in 2 minutes, at 4 o'clock my time, 3 o'clock Pacific, I'm going to start walking through the next step, just so that you can at least see the whole process. But I'm not quite done with my poem.
This is a great songwriting technique too.
Oh, it is. It's so good for that
Oh
sort
my
of thing.
god, this could be a song.
It could be a song.
That's exactly what I was just thinking as I'm writing this. These
Yay!
are lyrics. These are lyrics. We're finished. Quick, let's go to the studio.
Yeah.
If you turn them into songs, I want to hear them.
Yeah, buddy, let's do it.
Yes, yes.
You know, our heart space, it loves to share. It really loves sharing these messages. So like writing them down and putting them into this project that you can print and share with people is wonderful. Putting it into a song where other people can sing along and hear it, that's also wonderful. Like that is one of the great things about this exercise is it brings that message into the light where it really wants to be witnessed. Hi, Lindy, welcome.
Hey, Lindy.
Sorry I'm late.
No problem. You can jump in at the next stage and then do it in a different order.
Okay.
So in the course that I have online, if you decide to sign up for that, I talk about how you can do these steps in different orders. So today I chose to do this step first because I think it's a little more time consuming, but you can do the poem first, or you can do the landscape first. And in fact, most of the times I've done this project, I've actually chosen to do the landscape first and then done the poem. But it is completely flexible which way you do it because they come together at the same time, so it doesn't matter which order you do it in, right? Like, do you want to put on your rice first or prep your vegetable first? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to go in the same recipe. Lindy, you're muted, so if you're trying to talk to me, I can't hear you.
What are we collaging for? Like, what is the intention?
So, great, it's 4 o'clock. Let's just move right along. Perfect timing. So once you kind of have some of your words, you can put them aside, or I'm just going to build on top of it. So I like to think of this next step as creating a landscape. And we're making a mixed media collage, and it's just going to become the nest, the ground for your words to like land and nestle in. And the hope is that this is just like really fun and helps break open your creative space, right? So there's not a lot of planning. We're letting go of the plan and just letting spontaneous creation happen. So this is one of the prints that I offered for this project. So if you had a chance to print those out, you can use that. You could also just use a blank piece of paper. Really, you just want it to be foldable. Anything would work. You could use a piece of paper out of a lined notebook even. Or for example, the last zine that I did, I used like a piece of brown paper bag from FedEx because that's what I had in my studio. Another zine that I did was Bravo. I did this in the summer. And it's on instructions for a respirator mask, which I thought was kind of tongue-in-cheek. The zine we're creating is going to be more about this size, so it's a little pocket zine. If you use the 8.5 by 11 paper. And then to gather materials, just anything you have around that you can rip up. A magazine, old mail. You could use clothes, old clothes. If you don't have paper, you could use fabric. You can print stuff off the internet. Whatever you have around. I have an abundance of materials because I do this for a living, so like I understand that not everybody has kind of the same level. You could use wrapping paper, tissue paper, toilet paper with juice on it to dye it different colors. Like, you can go wild. You can just find whatever you need to make something. And what we're gonna do is, taking the papers that you've gathered, you're just gonna rip them into shapes, like rivers and boulders and stars and leaves. You don't really have to know what it is. You're just kind of getting different shapes and different colors. And if you have like an image, like this one has like a spiral on it, maybe you do want to keep that intact, so you can just kind of rip the shape out. And there's just something so cathartic about ripping paper. It's one of my favorite things to do when making a piece of art. Like, you get to deconstruct, destroy something, and then we're going to reconstruct it and turn it into something really beautiful. I also have some like handmade paper, which I think I'll rip some up. Like that. Some pink. If you know like color meanings, you could choose colors that really suit you. So I chose these. Like, my heart was like, ooh, purple. Ooh, copper. Ooh, shiny. This like soft pink. It was really excited about that. Maybe it was my inner child. Maybe it was my highest self. I don't know, but it made me really happy. So that is why I chose these colors. And then once you have a few like ripped up pieces, the next step is to just glue it down. And I recommend what's happening here? Picking a piece out of your pile, putting some glue on it, and just putting it down. And not worrying too much about where it is. And just let the way landscapes appear naturally in the world with wind and water and erosion and life growing, just kind of see how all of the pieces want to land together. We'll do this for another 5-10 minutes. How's everybody doing? I know this is wicked fast. This is the teaser.
I found this random doodle I did, and I'm gonna use that. I have no idea why it was in here.
I love that.
So I do this every day as a like form of meditation. And so this is the one I did this morning.
Beautiful. I love that. Exactly. This can be a form of meditation.
This is the other one that I was thinking of.
Nice. Are those in your journal?
Yes.
All right.
Do they need to not be in the journal because I can tear them out?
You'll want to fold it into a zine. You'll want to have like one page because we're gonna fold it like origami. But you could use just one of those pages and make an even really teeny tiny adorable heart zine.
I like it. I think that's a little bit.
And again, if you find yourself planning or your jaw's tight or your knees are locked, I'm standing at my desk, so I noticed my knees were locked. Just take a deep breath, put your hand on your heart, remember that this is a play, we're playing. Nothing too serious. Some serious play, but not much more than that happening here. Alright. You could also use like images from the magazine or something. So I have this flower that I found on the floor. That would be fun to put on there. Ooh! This is getting really yummy. Ooh, an eyeball. Sure. Put it in the corner. Found this little bird on the ground too. Okay. You don't have to cover the whole piece of paper if you don't want to. Although I often, when I have more time, will challenge myself to cover all the white because that just creates like a really full place for the words to land. However, because our time is short and I want to have some time at the end to share a little of what we have created so far, I'm going to move on to the next step because I'm pretty content with my collage. Sorry, I bumped the focus. That is so small.
It looks good on unlocked.
Come back. There we go. Okay. All right. So everyone may wish to look up from their crafting for a moment, just so you can follow along for this next step, so that you can create the book. I love doing origami. It's one of the few structured things I actually have the patience for. And it's the part of this where your creative mind gets to rest and you get to follow a pattern, and it allows something new to be born out of a simple process. And so what you want to do is flip your collage over so that the colored side is down, and you're going to fold it long ways, hot dog style. And crease it really well. Depending on where your things you glued down are, oh gosh, they might poke off a little and they might make it a little difficult to fold, but just work with the paper, just love it up, and crease it really, really, really well. So in the end, you have this like long shape. Once you have folded it this way, you're going to open it back up and fold it the other way, hamburger style or book fold, so that the wider side is folded. Oops, something fell off of mine. So now if you open it, you have 4 squares on the inside, so you can check that you've done it the right way. But we're going to leave it closed for the next step. How are we doing? Good so far? Okay. I invite you to put your hand on your heart and let those good feelings come through if you're feeling a little And I appreciate your authentic moment that you're in.
My husband was trying to cook something and he didn't realize he had the flame not on, and we have a natural gas stove, and I was like, why the hell does the house smell like propane? So
Oh no.
I'm like, what is going on? No, leave it open. Oh.
Oh dear. Well, we'll clear it out.
I'm good now. I'm good now.
Oh good, I'm glad you figured it out. Okay, so once you get to the book fold with the 4 squares. I'm gonna go here so I can like actually see where I'm placing. You're going to leave it folded in half and take half of the book and fold it to the crease in the center. This is called a cabinet, reverse cabinet fold. So that you get this like accordion situation. And it should be the back side, so all of the art is sort of just like cozy in here. And then once you have that, you'll flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. So when you open it, you should have this like W or M, kind of depending. And just maybe hold your paper up to the camera so I know if you are ready for the next step. Yeah, that looks good, Lindy. Good job. Yeah, the peak should be on the color side. All right, and then this is the last step of this process. So if you haven't been loving folding and doing something more, follow along. We're getting back to the creative side of this next. So from here, you have this crease in the middle. So you want to like hold it so that it makes like a T, right? So that you're not going to cut these 2 pieces. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Yep. And you can see your crease here that from the previous fold, and you're just going to cut or rip along that crease, and you're going to stop when you get to the flap. So you're only cutting so far. Yeah, that looks good, Lindy. And then you're going to hold it from the little, like it's like a little mouth almost, like hold it from there, and you're just going to tip it. So now you have like a plus sign, and then close it in to make a book. Don't crease it too hard yet. What you'll want to do now is look through all the pages that you've just created and decide which one you want to be the cover and which one you want to be the back. I'm actually pretty happy with this page as my cover, so I'm just going to leave it as it is and then crease it really good. But if you wanted to change, like let's say you wanted this page, you just refold it and crease it. I also tend to like to have the folds at the top and the opening at the bottom, but you don't have, you could have your opening be at the top. That's just my own, I don't know, it's just like how it feels like it should be to me in my body, but you don't have to do it, like whatever way feels good to you. So there you go. Now you have a book. You can now make a book out of any piece of paper. So if you're ever anywhere and need a journal, now you know how to make one. A simple fold to turn any one piece of paper into 8 pages, pretty magical. So we've like literally transformed this collage from a landscape into a book. And now what you're going to do, the final step for today, there is a 5th step in the course, if you choose to sign up for the Heart Zine course, is to glue your poem in here. So choosing what wants to go on which page, you could do it sideways, you could do it however you want. I wrote mine really big so you guys could see. So some of my words don't quite fit. If you hate how your cutout pieces of paper look, you could also, because we're not following the negativity, you could also just write it in. Or if you and your handwriting are not in much of a love match right now, you could also type it up and print it out and cut it out. No judgment here. But yeah, so now I'm just going to go through and glue all of my little phrases into my book, and you may also decide to choose which one is the title of your heart zine poem and choose to put that in the cover. I also play, like, sometimes I line up all the edges, and sometimes I place, like, all the words all over so you could read them in different orders. Sometimes I put them down the middle, sometimes I run them around the edge of the page. Just however they want to land. And you might have a piece of the landscape that you don't want to cover with words, and so that's going to determine where you want the words to fall.
Do you ever do double-sided paper and then do the topo or the book thing?
So that you could fold it again this way and then have two books?
Yeah.
I have not done that. But that is 100% something other zinesters do. And I think it is a great option if you want to have 16 pages instead of 8 in your pamphlet, if you had a really long poem and wanted to give this to people. I've also seen people, like, my zine Thrift Witch is this size, but I print it. I was trying to see if I had one here, but I think I okay. But I tend to glue mine just so they look more like a magazine because I like that finish. But you could leave it open and, like, put a covenant to your heart or a secret on the inside, or you could put a print, and then, if you give it to your friends, they can have a book in one way and then, like, an art print to hang on their wall the other way, which I've seen other artists do. I got a great risograph zine last year that was a bunch of herbal witchcraft remedies, and then when you opened it, it was this crazy crowned hag on the inside stirring a cauldron, that I hung on my wall for a little while before I regifted it to a friend. The other thing that's nice about doing it on 8.5 by 11, and once you have your poem completed, what you can do is take this to Kinko's or the library and photocopy it, and then you can send it to your friends. So my friend sent me her heart zine that she created at a workshop that I offered last year, and printed it out and sent it to me so I could see her work. And so she sent me this beautiful Becoming Home zine. So this is like a printing of her original. So that was the hope, right? Is that once you've created this beautiful thing, you can print it and send it to people and share your heart message with the whole world if you want. And I found zines, like, at the coffee shop. I've seen people selling them. There's a huge zine conference community of people in counterculture sharing their truth. And everything from really radical political ideas to how to crochet a bunny, right? Like, anything you could think of, you can find in a zine somewhere. And I wanted to bring heart messages and something a little more sacred into the zine world, so that is partly why I made this course.
It's really magical.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'll finish down. We have about 8 minutes officially, but I will hang out here a bit into our break. And then I'm also offering one-on-one sessions to unblock creative blocks. So if there's some creative project that you're stuck on or just seeking tips or tricks for unleashing your spontaneous creative inner Goddex, I am offering that at the Wholistic Hive offer price. And I could help finish this project or any project. So those are my offerings. I also sell all my zines, and you can find them. They're not in the shop, they're in my bubble, which is over up in the like book here section.
And also, Khiri has already scheduled 3 collage events, is what I saw.
Yeah,
February,
that's
March,
the
and
free
April.
offering.
Okay, yeah, so those are in the Hive schedule. So if you join the Hive and stay with us, you can have those free offerings
Yeah,
in this coming year already. So amazing.
my plan is to do new moon vision boards parties every new moon in the evenings. We did that for New Year's and with Sasha, and that was really fun. I made this vision board, which is all golden and has bees in it. And I was like, you know what? Why not reset every new moon? What a gift from the universe to begin again every month. And yeah, that is my offering for everybody. And then I also stream from my studio Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on twitch.tv/magic with a CK_socks. And you can join me live in my studio, and I work on projects, and I draw tarot cards, and I chat with people about what's going on for me. And it's just like a really fun way to connect all the time.
Like, is that posted on your Hive, or?
I believe I put that on my Hive information. And if it's not there, I will add it.
Wonderful. I do, so I started bullet journaling last year. And so I literally do things like this. Every
Beautiful.
day. And I write all over it for whatever I'm working on and what's going through. And it's like my brain explodes. And so I'm really excited to have more, to see more things like it, for lack of a better word. Like, I'm really excited. It's wonderful.
I also have a Discord community called the Creative Coven, where we just talk about astrology and magic and art, and I post my schedules there for Twitch. But it's a really cool place to share what you're working on creatively and get support. And I can just text you the link for that later, Lindy.
Because I'm on Discord.
Okay, great. I love Discord. It's such a cool way to meet people.
Yes.
So Khiri, in your private consulting aspect, do you help artists and creatives kind of develop a business plan? Because it seems that, just from my standpoint, from music and video and all that other stuff, you're on Discord, you've got Patreon, and you're really interacting with all the communities. And a lot of things I hear from other artists and musicians is, oh, how do I get this? Or how come I can't be so-and-so? I mean, I'm just wondering if that's kind of in your I don't want to call it wheelhouse, but your purview.
You know, that is not something that I have consulted on in a one-on-one. I mean, I've talked to people about it just like over dinner and things like that, about what all the different revenue streams that I have. Maybe I should.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got it pretty much down, so.
You know, they're all
another human who's super interested in that.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't thought about doing like abundance consulting for artists. There are just so many. Like, I think 2020 was the year where I really got landed in that and all of the different revenue streams that I've been building. And so I think I'm about ready to like start helping other artists kind of learn about those resources.
Nice.
And my commitment for 2021, my like vision board word was golden, and to really claim the prosperity that do have in my life so that I'm really resourced and can help other people get resourced and have resource.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone want to share their zine? Or a little piece of their poem or a little piece of their art?
I'll share mine, unless anyone else wants to. So I have my dreams expand, bold and pure. Oh, what does that say? Ready my heart.
I love that face.
Singing that I am enough. Pain remembers kindness. My heart is many.
Woo! Love it.
Love it.
Can you text or message me those? I want to write you a thing. As you were saying it, I got like a fancy stanza thing.
Okay, cool. I'll send it to you.
I'm also recording this, Lindy, so it will be available to Hive members or to the Goddex attendees later on. So, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm so excited that others will be able to experience this creative process through that time travel of recorder. What a magic. I love that.
That's just Buddy. He's the techno wizard of us all.
Yeah, I was planning to record this session, but I think I forgot to record it. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yay!
Because I'm all for safe acceptance of me. So I mentioned, my kind of rigid design background, and this is what this is covered with tape. It's ripped up. It's perfect. Let go, forgiven. Receive the limitless compassion.
Woo.
Whoa. Go weightless and you are open. My love beyond confined ego. Freedom to let you grow. And then leaving the back page dirty and blank was going against every fiber of my engineering background. So, it's all crazy, but I love it.
New pathways.
I know. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. I love these. Well, I didn't finish mine because I was watching and talking with all of you, but I got, how do I want to do this? Creation with the universe. Go, play, slow. Happy jump. Fearlessly burst. That's as far as I got. So I got room to grow here with my spiral.
I also didn't
Love it.
what I have so far. The heart that wants to open will surrender. Continue to create union with mind. My receiving of the love, silly inner child. That's all I have.
Yum. For that being all you have, it was very rich.
Mm-hmm. So since I missed the first half of the session, I want to check in that I did the right thing. We're writing the words that are in our heart.
Yeah, so the steps that we did, and you can riff on these however you feel like, was to, I provided sentence stems on the supply list, which is on the schedule.
Yeah.
And we filled out those sentence stems, and then we cut them up. So each word was on its own piece of paper and generated a pool of words. And then we drew words out of that pool and created a new spontaneous poem to kind of get out of our thinking space and into our heart space and let a message spontaneously appear in the word pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I created a poem while I was doing the things. Can I share that?
Of course.
Compassion, love, and grace fill the world into my embrace. May the world enrich and dance with us as we fall into the enchantedness of. Man, I lost it.
I liked what it was so far. Yeah, all of these offerings on this creative process, they're just pathways into creativity. So if you have a poem that comes to you like Lindy's did, like that is super welcome. Like there's no right or wrong way to bring creation in. My hope is just to kind of like bust it open and create space with all of these different ways to come at creativity and come at play. And every time we do something new or do something spontaneous and do something through play, we create like new neurotransmitters in our brain. And that helps keep dementia away. It keeps us happy and healthy. It helps us live long, prosperous lives. It helps us find opportunity and not get stuck in one possibility, like Panda was talking about around belief last night, right? Like, so all of these tools for creativity are ways to generate even more pathways and even more ways into bliss and joy and into relationship with the universe.
I really enjoyed this, by the way. This was so much fun.
Yay.
I felt like a little kid. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in kindergarten and it's like time where you get to do a project and you're excited because you're not having to like do homework or something. And I'm like, man, I remember what that feels like. So thank you. This is awesome. I love it.
You're welcome. I love it. I was a little nervous that this was a smaller group when we got started, and it has been such a joy to actually see and connect with everyone here. It has been so rich. So thank you. Thank you. This is my passion, and this is what I've built my life around, and I am so excited to share a piece of it with all of you.
And thank you, Khiri. This was yeah, I've used all my words on the paper here, obviously. But this was freeing. It was deepening, enriching, and I mean, really just the possibilities it creates just from a creative standpoint, you know, just from a new approach. Or I can see it as really getting past a block. Boom, you do a couple of these, you're in a block, and you know, I'm a writer now, so I get in blocks and boom, you can chop them up and oh, there it goes. Or you know, even with music, like you say, you start projects and then they sit there to a point. I have folders of songs that are the same way, and yeah, so this was really great, and I appreciate you and your offering, and the fact that you're part of the Hive and will be around is just I'm buzzing now. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Very welcome. Yeah, I try to follow my full body yes as much as I can, and being here at SSGG and joining the Hive is one of the clearest full body yeses I've had in a very long time. So that was exciting for me.
That's awesome, and we love to hear that. Love to hear that. So brilliant. So